Welcome back to Whiskey Sports. My name is Peyton. I'm here with my guy Rhett. It's been a minute.
We are back.
It's
It's
been a
been
minute.
what? Probably about a month now.
Probably a month.
No, maybe a little more.
I
New
guess we
Year and everything, and we had already done all the bowl games and predicted them, so it wasn't like we could have. I mean, we could have done it mid and done it, but I like better with doing it then and then doing the recap at the end instead of flooding a bunch of videos. So
yeah, and a lot of emotions. Titans losing.
you know.
But see, right now it's seeming like it's for the best.
Titans deserved it, man. That's the reality of the situation. Of course, if you beat the Jags, you get in, but the Jags deserved it over us. We lost our last what 7 or 8 games.
A games.
We lost our last 8 games, and the Jags went on a roll there at the end. So
No
they
seven.
deserved it. They
We're
even proved it
10.
last week. I mean,
Yep.
I think I'm scared for my Titans. Again, we were going to talk about it, but big GM hire there. Don't know a lot about GMs, but I've heard from what I've read on Twitter or seen what I've read on Twitter that he's pretty darn good. And anybody who was with the 49ers has my go ahead because they seem to only do good player personnel stuff.
Yep.
Seem I've been in the mix the last 5 or 6 years, but I'm scared, man. The Jags found I know he threw 4 picks in the first half the other night, but he kept his composure and dealt in that second half. I think the Jags found their Peyton Manning and Trevor Lawrence. I'm not gonna say he's not gonna be like Peyton Manning. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they found their franchise QB. They made moves during that last offseason. It took some time for them to mesh all together, but the Marvin Joneses of the world and not DJ Chark, came from there. Who is the dude from the Cardinals? The wide receiver. Holy crap.
Kirk.
Yeah, Christian Kirk. I mean, they made and defensively, they made the moves necessary to become a good team. And I'm scared for the Titans, man. I still think we have some of the pieces in place to do well, but I don't know what this GM is going to want to do with the team.
Yeah,
Do
I think.
strip it all and start from scratch, maybe keep a couple big pieces, Big Jeff, Christian Fulton, David Long, Derrick Henry, which in my opinion should be on the trading block because running backs are replaceable. I know he's amazing, but maybe you get some value there. And then Traylon Burks and then strip everything else. Like I'm not sure what he's going to do,
I
but
think.
I'm scared of the Jags from now on. I think they're going to be
Yeah.
it's going to be 1A and 2 or 1A and 1B between us two if we don't strip it all. And then here in the next 5 years, I mean, those guys are going to be really good.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody really in the AFC is starting to just become dominant. I mean, I think that they hired this guy, and I think they're going to sit down and be like, okay, who do we want to focus on, Big Jeff or Derrick Henry? Because we got to do a contract to somebody. Okay, if we're going to pick
I
Jeff,
think it's without a doubt. You go Big Jeff there.
I agree. And then I think what you do is trade Derrick Henry, and I think you let go Dupree, you let go of Bobby Tree, Robert Woods. That's 12 million right there. I don't know how much we get money cap room back for Bud, and then throw in Tana. You
Well,
release
Bud's like a $20 million hit on our payroll, and it
that's
stinks because when he was
32
in the
million.
game, he was a disruptor, but he just was never in the game. He was always
Correct. Yep. So I mean that's 32 million right there. I honestly think that you trade up in this draft. You're at the 11th pick. I think you trade up and you try to go for Bryce or CJ, and then build around. I think you hit free agency hard. I don't know if they're going to sign back Taylor Lewan. I think Taylor Lewan may be done, but I think we go for a couple offensive linemen that have NFL experience, um, and have a nice young quarterback and go first round. Obviously, we'll have the 11th pick still, and I've seen we're going to go Jordan Addison from USC. I think that'll be another good wide receiver, another weapon. So you got Traylon and Jordan Addison with whoever we get for Derrick Henry. I'm assuming that Whiteside or Hassan is it Whiteside would still be on the team, and then have a young quarterback and build from that.
Son Whiteside is
Yeah, I know, but I kept going with it. What is it, Hassan
center.
White?
He was an NBA player for the Miami Heat. He was a center.
No, yeah, I know, but what?
Haskins.
Yeah,
Haskins.
that's what it is.
Um,
But yeah, I think that's what you do is you pay Jeff Simmons, man.
Well, I think with your synopsis there, if you trade up this year to get a quarterback, knowing you're going to have a new line, you got to stick with Tannehill, even with the big pick. That way, sorry, Tannehill. I mean, I love you, but that way, if now the first 4 games, if the line's fine, the line's fine. And if the QB's ready, he's ready. But if he's not, you have an elder veteran that can take the hits and not get your young QB either one hurt or two seeing ghosts out there like Sam Darnold did when he got put into the limelight too early with a shitty O line. You know what I mean? Not to say Tannehill, but if you're rebuilding on a new quarterback, you got to keep Tannehill just in case this rebuild of an O line doesn't get your QB1 killed or his confidence destroyed, at least for the first half of the season or the first quarter of the season to see where you're at with everything.
Maybe
But
keep
Tannehill
Tannehill.
also is a big, I mean, it's a 30, he's 30 plus million on the cap. So cutting him could be good. So maybe you just cut him, cut him, keep Dobbs as the starter, cheap, very cheap, and then bring on a young guy, and let Dobbs take the beating there in the first quarter of the season or something. But
Yeah,
uh, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
they do. Yeah,
We
absolutely.
won't know until they got to start cutting people left and right. We're a negative cap, so we'll see who all they start dealing with. I know Bud is going to be gone. There's no way they keep him.
Yeah, I mean between Bud and
Juwan's
Wood,
probably gone.
that's 32 million.
Robert Woods gone. He just wasn't
Yeah,
productive enough. He was never open, and unless he did a little 3 yard hitch route there in the slot.
I think you have to go offensive line in free agency this offseason. You have to.
Yeah,
I just don't think you can draft another guy. Like maybe we get Paris Johnson from Ohio State again, but I mean that's just I don't know, man. I think we need more weapons. Like I just think we should get
line comes with full
better.
weapons, man. You
I know,
can't
but
get the ball to him
we
if your
can get
line
offensive
ain't good.
line. We can get offensive line in free agency. Drafted.
You think that, and we got the what did we end up last year with Dennis Daly out of free agency, and he was the worst lineman on our team.
Yeah. I mean, in the league.
I mean, so we'll see. We'll see what they do. I'm not sure.
It's gonna be interesting.
But
I
we'll see.
mean,
It'll be a good, entertaining offseason to say the least. I'm not saying it's gonna be a good offseason, but it's definitely gonna be entertaining to see the moves that they make.
I will say this after watching that Cowboys and Bucks game, I can finally say I do not want Tom Brady. I've always been on the Tom Brady train. I still am. I'm still a huge fan. He's 45, man. He can't do it no more.
He looks it now, man. Which is no detriment to him. I mean,
Yeah.
he should have retired after the Super Bowl he won when he proved he doesn't need Belichick right there at the end.
Yep.
And last year, his legacy is not getting tarnished. It was set in stone. No one just really cares anymore, man. It's like, hey, man, we get it. You can still semi perform at 45.
Yeah.
He can't take the beating back there. And I'm sorry, he's still accurate and he's still that, but he has a noodle arm now. There's no denying it. I think you could finally. I mean, I've seen it all year because I used to be a Brady hater, and then now I've appreciated his greatness, but I still like to watch him when he comes on because it's pretty insane what he's performing at. But he tries to throw it out of the back of the end zone in that game last week, and it doesn't even come near the back of the end zone. It gets picked in the end zone. It's like, oh my God, man. Because he was falling off his back foot and he just didn't have the arm to get it back there.
Yep.
Um, Getting Tom Brady with this O line or even a restructured O line, he would get murdered back there.
Yeah. Same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Same thing with Derek Carr. I don't think we're going to get those three. I was hopeful, but I don't think we're going to get that three. Either we're going to stick with Tannehill
Yeah.
or potentially get a young guy. I don't know. I just see
For the
Tannehill.
people who scream Rodgers, I'm the biggest proponent of loving to watch Rodgers play because I love quarterbacks that can just throw it any arm angle at any speed that they want to anywhere. I wish people would just go watch games last year, man. I always tune into Rodgers because I've loved watching Aaron Rodgers play, and he ain't this age caught up to him quick this year too. I think he fell off a cliff
He's
too.
38.
I'm not saying hit him off the cliff still isn't better than like a Tannehill Dobbs or a Malik Willis. I'm just saying like you have to overpay still for Rodgers. His price is still a lot, and it's not worth it because just go watch. I promise you, just go watch the games. I'm not lying to you. He missed open receivers he never has before in his career.
Yeah.
Wide open guys missed him by 25 yards, and Still better than the people we got, but it's not worth the money if we're rebuilding.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, but some of the games last week were pretty intense. But I wanted to get into college football real quick, go over the playoffs as we saw. And I think, as we predicted, I was holding on to some hope there that if TCU and Georgia got in, that it would be a fight. But I think last video we thought that Ohio State, Georgia was going to be probably the game of the playoffs. We thought Ohio State would give them the best game out of any of the four teams because the way they match up, and they did. And I gained a lot of respect for Stroud. I didn't think he was an NFL type quarterback going into it. I thought he was more of a system play, but he finally started to actually run the football when they needed him. And he did a lot of different things when they needed him that you didn't see against like the Michigan in the regular season or anything like that. So maybe someone lit a fire under his ass. I don't know. But in that Georgia game, he played phenomenal.
He finally became a playmaker. And that's what they needed. I mean, I guess they didn't need him to do those things, but in order to beat the Georgias and the Alabamas, you're going to have to become a playmaker and get out of your comfort zone. And he did that. Now,
and he brought him down there at the end. Now I don't know, it's the coach's fault or his fault, but they needed, regardless of how good that kicker is, that's still a 50-yarder in a very tight situation. They needed 5 to 10 more yards.
I thought they were going to run the football, but they
should have. Like I said, I think it's the coach's fault. They needed 5 to 10 more yards. Even then, it just looked like that dude shit. Pardon my language, shit his pants.
Well, the thing is,
I don't know if he's hitting from 15.
I will say, he's actually a really good kicker.
That doesn't matter.
He's a senior, and he's a little cocky. Supposedly, he doesn't warm up before games or something, but he did warm up there.
I was trying to think back in his few years he's been the starter at Ohio State.
You don't want the kicker?
The kicker. Name one time that he's needed a clutch kick. They've either blown people out or have gotten blown out.
Yeah,
via Michigan the last 2 years.
None.
Either they've been blown out or they've gotten. He hasn't had to make a final kick before. That dude, first career clutch kick came in the clutchest moment that he could ever have, and he just shit himself.
I mean, dude, it was kind of funny. I mean, I don't know if you saw those Madden memes where it was like, when you go kick a field goal in Madden, they just pointed straight left. I mean,
yeah,
that's hilarious, man.
Feel bad for the man, but you got to do your job.
Yep, and congratulations to Brian Hartline, got promoted to OC at Ohio State.
Yeah,
maybe that'll be big. I don't know who's going to call plays, but I think Ryan Day needs to get back.
People are still overlooking, even in the playoffs, the 2 performances by the damn mailman, Stetson Bennett. I cannot stand Georgia with an ounce in my heart. I can't stand Stetson Bennett, but holy shit, he just balls out when they need him to. It literally balls out, and no one cares.
No, he's still not even being talked about still.
He should at least be like a Brock Purdy, like a Mr. Irrelevant draft. Like, people are saying he's going to go undrafted. He's a winner. He wins. He performs when they need him to.
And this year, this year their defense wasn't even that great, and he still won.
He's short. Sure. He's that's all he is. He has a great arm. He's accurate. He's timely. He can run.
He's Drew Brees Jr.
He has a better. I have a Drew Brees thing in the back here. Drew Brees, the only reason he was an amazing NFL, he lacked the arm strength, but he was accurate as hell. He's the most accurate passer in NFL history. Stetson Bennett has the arm strength though too. You can see in the games. He fits it in tight windows. He has the arm strength.
Run. Nobody talks about how he's quick.
It's so weird how no one ever can catch him.
It is kind of weird.
You look up his 40 time and it's like, okay, it's not very good, but you see him on the football field, no one catches him.
He's quick, man. I don't know. I don't know why no one's talking about him. I mean, like, arguably, he's one of the best SEC quarterbacks ever. He's the best he's the best Georgia quarterback in Georgia's history.
Accomplished, yeah.
I mean, he even
he's not. I'm not putting him in the Cams and the Tebows, but accomplished, yes, and maybe even he could be in that Tebow conversation. But
don't get me wrong.
I see what you mean. One of. You said one of. Okay.
Yes, I'm still picking Tim Tebow and Cam Newton any day of the week.
Yeah.
But Stetson Bennett has to be in the top 5. He's got two national
If you combine accomplishments with
championships.
performances in big games with wins, then yeah, I mean,
Kid just balls out, man.
against, and I know it's TCU, but TCU still made it. They still beat pretty good teams this year. They beat a Michigan team that drubbed Ohio, or yeah, that drubbed Ohio State. Like, and I know their defense wasn't great, but he went in there. He did his. I mean, did he ever even incomplete a pass? I mean, he was like 400 total yards passing, five, two rushings, five passing. I mean, he's just.
He had every.
He was too easy. It was just so. It's so easy to him. It feels like
he was responsible for every touchdown in the first half, and there was 4 touchdowns in the first half. He threw two, or he threw 3 and ran 1.
People were afraid to talk about him, man. I think they just don't want to.
I get it. I get it.
But if Brock Purdy, like we may talk about, can come in here and be this successful, I think Stetson can too. Stetson has the same measurables as Brock Purdy.
I think Stetson's better, obviously. I don't know what he did at Iowa State, but I mean,
he was a solid kid. He was the quarterback that kind of, Iowa State was never good before him, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, the championship was just, I don't think anybody thought, I mean, people thought it may have been a blowout. I mean, the spread was got up to like 16 or 17, I think, maybe 14 and a half.
He got to 24 and a half.
No, I'm saying right before the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It got up to 24 and a half, like the very first score.
Yeah.
But to be 65-7 in a championship game.
I mean, dude, the first 4 drives, TCU had 3rd and 14 plus every drive.
I've never turned off any championship game that I was watching mid-second quarter. I turned off mid-second quarter. I was like, okay, this is over. I mean, there's no point in me even. They were driving down the field like it was butter, and they were stopping them like they had, like TCU had cement on their feet. Like it wasn't even fair.
No, it wasn't. They had no run game. The only reason why they were able to move the ball is because they were able to pass just a little bit, and still, like, they weren't able to get in the end zone until later, right?
Yeah. I just can't believe Michigan lost to that team, and I know they shot themselves in the foot damn near 8 times in that football game, and still almost won.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
But yeah, nothing you can really say about that championship game besides Stetson played flawless and Duggan got the wrath of the Georgia defense.
Yes, he did. I'm excited for next year, man. I'm hoping it's going to be around the same competition level. Like
UGA will be there. Georgia will be there. They probably would be there regardless, but their schedule is now probably the worst in history of college football.
Yeah.
The only good team they have on their schedule, sorry, Peyton, is Tennessee, and it's at Tennessee, so maybe, but I've heard that Connor Beck kid coming behind Stetson is an absolute phenom as well, and I think he got some PT. I didn't even watch 4th quarter.
He did.
He got PT and came in and went right down the field.
Start of the 4th quarter, took him down, scored a touchdown.
Yeah, so they might three-peat. But the only game they have on their schedule that they could possibly lose is the Tennessee game.
Hey, they play at Auburn. There's some crazy things now. We're number 1 in the transfer portal right now.
So the transfer portal rankings.
Dude,
you know why? Because everybody else actually recruits. And
probably
pick and chooses.
We're in the top 20 this year. Finally, Harsin didn't get us there, but
like Heupel said, 90% of his recruiting will come out of high school, but he will pick and choose spots where needed. We got a linebacker that we needed. Yeah. We got a corner that we needed. We got a receiver that we needed. Now we're good. He's like,
I think we have like 14 transfers because
we got a tackle that we needed to replace our right tackle that's leaving. So
Ryan didn't recruit, so we had to bring in 14 people because we needed 14 people.
Yeah, you're going to be struggling at quarterback next year, though. That's the one.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. We still have Holden Grenier. He was a 4-star. He's still there. He maybe played a couple snaps this year, but
I still don't believe you guys will even sniff Georgia. So,
no. I'm just saying. I think we'll be our schedule's not too hard, but I think we'll be positive next year.
That's a start, right?
Yeah, that's 7-4. I'm okay with it, or 7-5. I'm okay with it.
And then just to recap before we get into the 4 games this weekend, a couple of the NFL games. The Vikings will be the Vikings. They do this every year. Playoff Kirk, I question
Josh Dobbs. but
Confuses me, man.
come on, man.
Playoff game. I know Josh Dobbs did it too. Kirk, though, starter from day one, has been a starter for 7 years now. Vikings, before that, Redskins. 4th and 11.
4 yards.
Last play of the game.
4 yards.
4 yard out, not to a dude that was open, to a dude, Hawkinson, their tight end, who was covered, blanket covered. And he just catches it and gets tackled. Let's not look at Justin Jefferson, the best wide receiver, in my opinion, in the game. One at least top 3 in anybody's board, but
You could argue the top 3, and we all know who the top 3 is.
yeah,
Stephon, Justin, and Jamar.
I don't know. No words for that. Kirk just being Kirk. That's literally it. Kirk being Kirk. Vikings fraudulent year in, year out, it seems.
Congrats to the Giants, though. Congrats to the
Congrats
Giants.
to the Giants. That's a big W. I said it from the time that they beat us in that first game. I didn't say that they were going to go to the playoffs or win a play. I said I like that coach.
Oh, great coach.
He's a player's coach. He reminds me of a smaller, chunkier Dan Campbell over there at the Lions. But they just seem like they play for him. He's passionate, so I think he's going to be doing a good job. And Daniel Jones is just murdering. Sorry, I'm not going to use that word. Just killing. Shouldn't use that word, but we're going to use it.
Murdering, killing the defense.
The haters, though, man. Daniel Jones has only been performing this year, and everybody thought he was just an absolute bust. And they're using his talents almost like a Stetson Bennett at Georgia. Like, he can run, man. He's sneaky good runner.
I think
He's really fast. He's shifty.
2 miles an hour or something. Like, dude,
yeah.
And they're
But
playing
he's
well.
swinging it too. He threw it for 315 yards and a few TDs. Like, he's playing really good football right now. The Eagles should be scared. The Eagles are a damn good football team, but they could be upset by this football team.
Sitting on their ass.
49ers took care of business. Brock Purdy's playing out of his mind, but that 49ers roster in general is just awesome.
I didn't realize their defense was first. I didn't realize how good their defense was.
Yeah.
It's
Bengals struggled, but the Ravens defense is really good. So
they also played them back-to-back weeks.
Yeah. I'm not really too worried about that game. They got out of there with a win, luckily, but a win is a win.
Bills
struggled. Good God, against one of the worst starting QBs I've ever seen, besides Nathan Peterman, Casey Thompson. Absolutely awful. I don't know how in the world they hung in there. They better be scared this weekend. The Bills coming to town, or the Bengals coming to town. And then two more. But the main one that was shocking was the Chargers game. Jaguars. 27-0 at half. 4 picks, score 3 points in the second half, came back on, lose a game. I honestly don't even put it on Herbert. It was almost like the Falcons Patriots Super Bowl. I don't put that on Matt Ryan. They were handing the ball off every play and getting nothing.
That coach is at some point. I don't know if he's been fired yet, but he's going to be fired. A lot of people are upset with him.
At some point in these games, whether it was Matt Ryan with the Falcons or Herbert with the Chargers, I know Matt Ryan was more tenured, but it's like, Herbert, just call your own damn play.
Yeah. Let's do a play action here.
You're a superstar. He ain't going to kick you off the team for doing it if you do it. Call your own damn play. Don't run it 3 times, 4 straight drives at 3. Like, it's like
you're just trying to get out with a win,
it's the NFL. People can come back. The other guys on the other team aren't going to quit, and they're actually going to be even more desperate than they were. This ain't the regular season. It's the playoffs.
Your defense got you 4 picks, man. 4 turnovers.
Oh, man. And then the Bucks got dominated. They have no run game this year to help out Tom Brady. Line looked pretty poor. Brady looked pretty poor. And then, of course, they padded stats there in the fourth quarter. I think Brady had 185 going into the fourth passing and ended up with 400. So if you just stop what you're doing when you're looking at stats after the end of the third quarter, because that's when the game was over. It was like 31-6, I think.
Yep.
Just a total beatdown. But
Dak looked great. He finally.
Dak's performing too, man. All these people that were doubted last year and earlier this season, they seem to be performing. So I think these games coming up this weekend are going to be awesome.
I cannot wait. Started out, Jags and Chiefs in Kansas City. It's -8.5. Over under is 52.5. Man, The Jags are a team of destiny right now. They're just winning ball games. Now, do they look great? No. They didn't look that well or that good against the Titans. They didn't look good last weekend, but they pulled it out. I think that gave them a lot of confidence going into this weekend in Kansas City. I know Kansas City's hard to play and you have Mahomes, but when a team's hot, they're hot. I like the Jags and the points, and if I can get it plus 10, I will take plus 10 Jags. But I'll take plus 9 right now right now, yeah, plus 9.
Yeah, I actually really don't mind that pick. I can tell you one thing: if they come in here and drop 4 turnovers in the first half, Andy Reid ain't slowing down. That shit'll be 54-0 before they look up.
Yep.
Yeah, those comments that Trevor said about Arrowhead probably weren't the best to say. They're going to be loud. They're going to be mighty. I can't believe he said the Jag Stadium is just as loud as Arrowhead. It's literally not true at all. It's not even an opinion. It's a fact that it's not. Arrowhead, I think, is the loudest stadium in college or pro sports.
Really? I thought it was just NFL.
No, I think they hit the loudest decibel record on record. They're at least in the top 3, but it's pretty crazy. But I do think they can play good in this game. I mean, they have the weapons and they have the defense. Patty is going to be too much. Give me a closer than it looks 31-20 type game, Chiefs.
5-11. And I don't get me wrong, I definitely can see the Chiefs blowing them out. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but just how hot they've been.
Yeah, the Chiefs, I think they see last year they were up 21-0 on the Bengals at half, let the foot off the gas. Here come the Bengals, they win. If they get up early here, they're going to onslaught. People are going to be complaining to them for running up the score if they get up early.
The next game is the Giants and the Eagles. We're in the same situation again. But I'm on the opposite side this time. I like the Eagles -7. I think the Giants are good, but I think the Eagles are that good as well. I think they're the best team in the NFL. I still think that. And I just think the Giants' luck's going to run out eventually, man. I like Eagles -7.
Yeah, you keep announcing this luck thing. I think they're all good teams at this point. And I think the Giants are a good team, not a great team, a good team. And I think the Jags are a good team, not a great team because the way they mesh. So I don't know what you're saying about this luck stuff. It ain't lucky that some of these teams are here. I think they deserve.
Well, my meaning is like nobody expects them to beat the Vikings. Nobody expects them to beat. Maybe the Jags and Chargers was more of a.
You'd never believe it, but you remember that the text we got sent. I said that I thought the Giants would win only because of playoff Kirk.
That's true. Yeah. I mean,
you could kind of see that coming, but
you would think.
I see what you're saying, but luck.
Maybe it's not luck, but eventually Kirk Cousins is going to have to break the streak of playing like shit in the playoffs. You would think it'd have been against the Giants. No. So now you got to wait another year. Maybe it'll be next year. You never know.
But when it comes to the game, people hate interdivisional playoff games. I've seen that on Twitter for some reason. I love them because it just creates even more hatred between the two teams. So I'm excited to watch this football game. I think if the Giants can muddy it up, win in the trenches I know they can on offense. Now on defense, I don't know. Eagles got a good D line too. The Eagles are just all around a great team. I think I like them for maybe to win the Super Bowl too, depending on if they run into Mahomes or not. But I like them to muddy this game up. Hurts has looked bad that last week when he came back. I think he'll get it going again, but like a 20-4. I don't think they'll score a lot though. But let me get them in a 24-17 type game to cover.
Next game is Bengals and Bills. The Bills are -5.5, and the over/under is 49. What do you like?
Bengals and Bills, man. I'm excited for this. Anytime, I've said this multiple times on here, anytime we get a great quarterback matchup, like a Joe Burrow versus Josh Allen, I'm always excited. This will be another fun game. Bills are at home. I like the Bills in this. And what's the spread again?
5.5.
I know they just barely beat the Dolphins by 3. I think they were overlooking them a little bit, though. You have that in sports. It happens. Joe Burrow, I think, will make it interesting in that first half. And the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals are stacked, man, but so are the Bills. And that home advantage, I think, just does the Bills well. They're used to playing. Maybe it's snowing. I don't know. I didn't look at the weather, but um, I can't go against the Bills. Not give me 5, and I'm going with the Bills. Especially after the way the Bengals played, they have some film on how to stop Joe Burrow in this offense.
I agree with you, man. I like the Bills big. They're at home. Their defense is a lot better than the Ravens. And, the Bengals offensive line just still isn't there. They're still struggling a little bit. And then you get a good defense and a good pass defense as well against Joe. I just think they're going to struggle all game. I think Josh is going to have a
That's always been the Bengals' kryptonite these last few years is the offensive line, man. If they can get that sound, sky's the limit for
correct.
sure.
And their defense is good too. I'm not
Their
going
defense
to
is solid.
now Eli Apple, they got to get rid of him. But other than that, their defense is really solid, good.
I think it's gonna be a good game. I just think that the Bills can win by more than 5 points. I mean, give me a touchdown. You
I mean,
know,
I'm assuming they would not put Eli Apple on Stephon Diggs. Now, if they do, that's going to be a disaster. But I'm assuming I don't know who their best cornerback is, but if that's going to be the matchup all game, give me the
yeah.
Bills. Give me the Bills -5. And last but not least, the boys and the 49ers. 49ers are -4 at home. Over under is 46. I think the best bet is over 46. I think the Cowboys are going to go out swinging. They're going to come out throwing the football. I think they've been playing well lately, and their offensive line is going to be able to hold up. I think Dak's going to have a nice little stat line. Man, it's going to be a good game. I like the Cowboys +5. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it's going to be potentially a game-winning field goal by the 49ers. I can see both of them advancing, but I like the Cowboys +5 after Dak's performance.
Yeah. Also, I'd look at the over in that Bills Bengals game too. 49 seems pretty
Yeah,
low. This is gonna be enough. So if you say, all right, I'm gonna preface this. I think I like college football a little more during the regular season because I'm a bigger Vols fan than I've always been a diehard Titans fan and a Vols fan, but I'm a bigger Vols fan. Obviously, I went to school there and everything. But if anybody ever tells me that the postseason for the college is better than the pros, is just absolutely outlandish to me.
yeah.
I mean, this set that we got this weekend is just it's exciting. I'm excited. This game is gonna be another good game. I'm gonna hang my hat right here. I think finally we see Brock Purdy with Parsons coming around the edge because that dude's an absolutely animal. Finally get rattled a bit in this game. I'm not saying they're going to lose. I'm saying he's going to get rattled and because no one's really even got pressure on him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just sitting back there just dealing. And I think the Cowboys can do that. And I think the Cowboys rattle him in this game. The Cowboys can win this game. I just said the 49ers have one of the most talented rosters, but Parsons is going to have a game here +5 Cowboys for me as well. I'm scared of one of those stinker Dak games because he has them.
He
But
does.
coming off of that win last week gives me more confidence in Dak.
Absolutely, I agree. Other than that, man, I'm super excited for this weekend. We'll probably do one more video for the year's over, maybe 2.
Big Super Bowl video, maybe.
I'm super excited, man. I cannot wait for this weekend.
It's going to be a good one.
Yep.
That's for sure. Who do you got to make it all the way through?
I don't think the Jags or Chiefs. I'm going to mark them off.
Or Chiefs. Wow.
So my Super Bowl prediction, I'm going to do the matchup first and then the winner.
Chiefs have home field advantage.
Correct. I like Bills. I like Josh Allen to come back into Kansas City and get that win from last year because he's already circled it on his map or his calendar, not his map.
Trust me, Patrick Mahomes circles anybody they say is better than him.
That's true too.
Always.
I like the Bills. I like the Bills. And I like the Eagles in the Super Bowl. And the reason why I'm going to say the Eagles is because I was debating on the 49ers, but Brock Purdy still just kind of came in, the past 5 games, 6 games, whatever, how long he's played. I like the Bills and Eagles. I like the Bills winning 34-21.
Wow, an absolute
Bills.
murder show. You know who I'm taking out of the AFC. We'll always take him, especially since he's still the best quarterback in the NFL. He proves it every single year.
Yep.
Their defense is improved from last year. So they may not need an OT victory versus the Bills. The Bills offense has declined since last year. Josh Allen still having an amazing year, but it's worse than last year. He's not as good.
He struggles at times.
Yeah.
Gets-
So give me the I'm not saying it's gonna be a beat down or anything like that. It's gonna be another awesome Bills versus Chiefs matchup. Hopefully we may not get it. One of them could lose before, but Chiefs versus the
You have 2 red teams.
man, I think that 49ers roster is loaded. I don't care who's quarterbacking. I'm giving a rematch between the Chiefs and the 49ers.
All you got to do is this right here. Here you go, Christian. Run.
Yeah, but Brock's been solid too. I mean,
Correct.
he's very efficient.
I'm saying if he
Debo's back, they're fully healthy on defense and offense now. So yeah, give me the 49ers, but that's going to be the NFC Championship is going to be awesome too. And then give me the Chiefs, man.
to win it.
Yeah,
Wow.
give me the Chiefs.
I'm just happy it's AFC, man. If it's AFC, everybody, I'm happy.
31-24.
Okay.
By a touchdown over the 49ers. Brock Purdy has a late turnover to lose the game.
Ooh.
The young rook.
That's
Mr. Relevant, not irrelevant.
I guess we'll do 2 more videos because we got to talk about next week. If one of these guys loses, we're kind of screwed. So
yeah, it may happen. I'm feeling some upsets this weekend. It's going to be fun.
Excited. Other than that, that's all I got. Until next time, see y'all later.
Peace.